Wofford.
God, that was so funny. I just hit record, and Pat's like, let's catch up first. We did play Wofford. He's totally right. Guys, welcome in. It's Sunday, September 21st, 5:30. Virginia Tech did win. They won. They won the game 38-6. Hokies win, do not cover. And man, it felt good to get a win. I actually have an announcement before this, and Pat, this actually might upset you, or actually it might get you fired up. So, speaking of the ground floor, today, I with Casey and Juliana, we decided we're gonna go to the Panthers game. We're gonna go to the Thurs game. It's my first game there. The stadium kind of sucks. The team really sucks. And walking in, I was like, you know what? Ground floor. If I'm going to be a resident here, what better time is there to be all in than right now? So I will flip my hat around and say I am about to start pounding and keep pounding. So I am in on the Thurs, dude. I was freaking out today. We had I had to root for Parker Romo. He had a rough day. Diablo, he had a great day today. But I am in on the Carolina Panthers. Two states, one team. Keep pounding. We all hate the owners. I'm in. Sign me up, dude. In.
From start jumping to start pounding to keep pounding. I'm glad you guys had a good. Did the Panthers win 30-0?
Dude, they crushed the Falcons. Dude. The Falcons got. There was a hurdle. Panther player hurdled the Falcon. The Falcon punt returner got tackled by his own guy. It was tough. And I'll tell you what, too. This is no disrespect to any NFL fans, but I left that game saying two things. Number one, if you go to an NFL game and you literally are like, wow, this is so much better than college, I don't think you should be allowed to vote. That's my first thing. My second thing is dude, the NFL super fan, man. We don't have it in baseball. We don't have it in hockey. We don't have it in any other sport. I saw this guy who's a Falcons fan, complete body paint, and was roaring at Panthers fans, as they walked past him, and he was covered in sweat. And it's just a weird situation, man. I understand having team pride if you graduated from the school, but you're driving in 40 minutes away. You just love them because you love them. And you're getting, I was watching these people get ready to fight in the streets. I'm like, dude, what? You probably have work tomorrow. That's the other crazy thing is on Saturday for football, you can send it and be I love this. And then you get Sunday to relax. These people are just getting hammered on Sunday and then going to work in accounting on Monday. It's just crazy and insane. Anyway.
Billy Ray, newfound NFL fan, but has found all the depths of the fanhood. He's I'll dive in, but not with my head first.
No. They had this BMX show at halftime, but this is not why you're here. You're here for, well, first of all, how are you? You're in Maryland. What's new? We got a new backdrop, dude. The room looks way bigger. I heard some people chirping Pat's room. Real estate in New York's a little crazy. Got plenty of room in there. You can do aerobics.
It was great. It was a great weekend. I'm here at the Rafferty house, and I got to tell you, the Rafferty parlay hit this weekend, okay? Mm-hmm. They sent their kids to Virginia Tech, Indiana, Maryland, and Syracuse. Syracuse goes on the road as a dog. Fran Brown says, I don't bet according to Vegas. I bet on myself. And they embarrassed Clemson in Death Valley at noon, even with the weather delay. You know how those games can kind of get shaky when you have that long weather delay? Maryland goes on the road as 9.5-point dogs. They go ahead and just upend Wisconsin in Camp Randall. That was exciting. Indiana just completely beat the shit out of Illinois. What was it, 64-10?
It's something like that. It was bad.
I know that was on Billy Ray's bad beat.
63-10, dude.
He had the.
It was my last leg of a 5-leg 20-win 680. And all the other games were at 1 o'clock or noon. And I was I'm sitting on this till 7:30. And then, of course, no.
You can't bet against the Rafferty family parlay, Billy, right? I'm sorry. That was the last leg of the Raff parlay. Hokies obviously took care of business. This is the money line, by the way, mind you. I took the other side of Virginia Tech Wofford, but it is good. We celebrated Andy Montaigne and Mike Sweeney's engagement at an engagement party last night out in Fairfax. It's crossed into VA. And out here in Kensington now. But it was a great weekend. Got a little lunch today in DuPont Circle, headed downtown. So, we're here recording the pod, talking about the first dub, which, mind you, we did get a nice Jason Blanchett win picture from Section 5, Section 129. Didn't see any submissions of walking out of Lane Stadium with a dub videos.
That was disappointing. I'll be honest.
Hoping that, they're just buried in the camera roll right now, and we'll see some of those later on. But I'm just happy we got the dub.
57,229 of you showed up to this game. I really I'm so sick of saying this every week, but really we are so awesome. It's unbelievable. A noon kick against Wofford, and they're like, dude, grab the kids. We're going to see if the Hokies can finally pull one out. And thank God that they did.
Military Appreciation Day. You had the USA helmets that were looking cool. And you know what? I don't understand this. When we post a picture, and there's a war right now on social media on UVA posting, or Tech fans posting pictures of UVA's crowd at any point, and then UVA, trying to chirp where they can. Tech had 57,229 folks out. Mm-hmm. Probably what is that? Close to 90% of Lane Stadium.
Yep.
And you always see the flood of comments. Oh, well, there's nothing to do in Cal Country. Not much to do in Southwest Virginia. Oh, yeah, well, that's just Blacksburg, Brother, it is Saturday. This is what people do on Saturdays in the fall. They watch college football. Yeah. And if you're in Charlottesville and you're playing croquet, or you're sipping tea, or you are
going to the vineyard,
going to a winery to drink Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, then I guess that's better than watching football. No, it isn't. This is what red-blooded Americans do on Saturdays, brother.
Were they really coming? Was that the zag they were coming with? Is you have nothing better to do? The excuses, I got to tell you, man, real. And I love, there are a couple of accounts I really like, but Trey Keller, you got to get your band in order. Like Brandon Lloyd, total liability, a complete liability. It's like drafting somebody to be the corner specialist. And with all due respect, he has no arms. It's why would you draft somebody to play basketball with no arms? Every tweet is just so brutal. And he's got to step it up, dude. We got to step it up. But this is called the Woof Off. This started a week ago, where I tweeted multiple pictures of the William and Mary game, and there was nobody there. And honestly, my stance is pretty simple. I think that UVA has a pretty good team this year. I do. I think they have a pretty solid team, and I think they deserve to have people come out and watch them play. And to continuously see you guys not show up. They had 36,223 people in this game. It's pretty embarrassing. You guys play Florida State next week. I would hope you'd show up. So that's really it. I'm not trying to dunk on you guys. I'm go support your team. And you're but the Brie Cheese Festival is in town this week. It's guys, come on. Get out there and support your guys. It's tough.
I want them to clip this. I want them to clip me saying, Virginia, I challenge you and your fan base to show up for a Friday night in Charlottesville. It's probably the biggest home game you're going to play all year. Got Florida State at home. Didn't they beat Florida State 6 years ago and rush the field at home?
Yes.
That was a big deal for them.
Yes.
Sell out your game. Sell out your game.
Yes.
I don't think you will, because you don't matter, and football doesn't matter in Charlottesville, and Virginia football just doesn't matter in general. Mm-hmm. Clip this, put it out there. Brandon Lloyd, I know he's probably saying rent free. It's a rivalry. This is what we do. We throw stones in each other's yard. This is what we do. No love is lost for our rivals up the road. But dude, just pretend that it matters for one Saturday. And if no one's there, they'll say, well, it's a Friday night and, people are doing other things on Friday. I'm just like, dude, no, you just don't care. And that's okay. But don't pretend that you do care.
I'm at Boyland doing karaoke night. Oh my gosh. Come on, be better. All right. Did you read the Chip Potterson text? I loved this.
He texted me today. He was like, I know it was Wofford, but Blacksburg felt more like Blacksburg yesterday.
Love that.
Things kind of felt a little bit more normal. A lot of tension has been released, weight off the shoulders. Unfortunately, people know what this year will be. It is I don't want to say rebuilding year. We don't start rebuilding until we have a new coach, but expectations have been set very, very low, and people are in Blacksburg to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to, man, we got to go back to start scheduling these Wofford games week 1 or something. Because by the time week 4 comes around, it's Wofford and everyone's just mailing it in on the year. And it's just tough. We're going to get to some other schools that have seemingly mailed it in. A lot of schools are starting 1 and 3, causing a lot of headlines. But we got a few Hokie haikus here. I'll take the first one from Reasonable Squirrel. Hokies make the change. Montgomery takes the helm. Offense sparks. Dawn breaks. I don't know. I don't know the part about dawn breaks. I don't know how that has to do with this football game. But I love it.
I called that. I have to give everyone credit because I called out the lack of haikus a couple weeks ago, and like everyone's just like, I'm Shel Silverstein now. Like pretty unbelievable. Like people are throwing dawn in here.
Break.
Pete McGee. Magical Monty. Winning games is simply fun. Tech victorious. I have to say, I'm so glad Tech won, but I'm really happy for 4 people. I'm happy for the players. I'm happy for the coaches, and I'm really happy for Coach Holmes, and I'm really happy for Pete McGee. Those are 2 of the saddest people I think I've ever heard on the Too Deep voicemail line. Those were broken men. And these are hardworking American, like good American men, and they were really down bad. I had never heard some of them like that before, so I'm glad they were able to get it done. I'm going to say this at the top because we're keeping this positive because we did win, but I'm not positive that this was handled correctly. And I just think it's worth saying. And let me also say, I don't know if any of these players are dealing with injuries, so I'm not at all casting any spells or anger or negativity onto these names. But the updated list of Hokies who are not dressed today, this comes from Andy Bitter. Caleb Woodson, Quentin Reddish, Sherrod Koval, Christian Ellis, Caleb Brown, Takai Heath. They all did not suit up for the game. My only thing, because I'm not going to crush them for not suiting up, it's a different game. If you have the opportunity to go somewhere else and redshirt, I'm not going to blame you for doing that. I do think it's a little crazy because not everybody on this list or even anyone on this list has the type of film where you can just mail it in for a year and you're like, dude, check my film. Newsflash, the film is pretty bad through these 3 games. But I hope prayer emoji that our NIL contracts were written so that we are not paying players voluntarily not playing in football games. You would think that is a very basic ask. I don't know if that's the case. I also don't know if these guys are sitting out, but I would really, really hope that we handled that part correctly. And there's no way to know, but we'll see.
There were 12 dudes total, I believe. I know Billy listed 6 that were most notable. I do know that there were more than just that. Don't pay them if they're not playing willingly. I'm hoping there's a clause in that contract that means that they're going to, when the 15th and the 30th hit, that they are standing there like, oh, what's going on? Well, you have an obligation to fulfill.
Correct.
Man.
Can I just say, too, the helmets did look great. These were great looking helmets. I just pulled up Cheers and Jeers from Justin Cates. These are some seriously good looking helmets. I felt bad because if you're listening to this, man, the media team, their job is to put out tweets. and people get really mad. Like they put out these helmets and they probably took some cool pictures and were really excited to put this out. And they put it out, and I get it, but people are replying to the tweet like, delete your account. It's like, all right, like the helmets are objectively cool. The helmets did not like slide short of the first down stick. The helmets did not score no points in the second half. Like the helmets are just the helmets. I do want to shout out the uniforms. The uniforms look great.
On top of that, I also want to shout out to our guy, Zach_Cooper27. We brought in Storm Murphy for the Wofford Bowl.
Oh, dude, I love that.
Young Bowl for the score prediction on Instagram. And rolled out some new rowback, too, that will be available here this fall. People really, really liked the crew neck. Script Hokies Greg Kunek. Use the code 20% off or use the code Saturday. Zach Cooper predicted the score 38-6. Nostradamus. Wow. I mean, that's not the easiest score to predict, and Zach Cooper nailed it. So we are going to send you some rowback, Zach Cooper. Congratulations on your score prediction.
Unbelievable.
Hokies win 38-6. Virginia Tech. We're not going to talk that much about this football game, right?
Yeah.
It was clear that Kyron Drones is using this game as a tune-up game. Mm-hmm. One of the better passing percentages he's ever had, 84% completion percentage. He was 27 of 32. That's pretty surgical by Virginia Tech standards. 370 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hokies outgained Wofford 462-141. Hokies offense was moving 7.1 yards per play and was holding Wofford to 2.3 yards per play. I mean, won the first down battle 28-8. Hokies ran for 155 yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 of those coming from drones. And then Marcellus Hawkins led all rushers with 79 yards. And Sons of Spreading the Sugar, 11 different dudes caught passes yesterday. I had some touchdowns from Aiden Green and Devin Alves. I think that Aiden Green pass from drones was it was a laser. Got it right in there. Congrats to Devin Alves on the score as well. 7 different guys caught balls in the first half, and the defense held the Wofford Terriers to -1 rushing yards overall on the day. I mean, you're going to bully Wofford. Like, that's it. You're 35.5-point favorites. You let them come in, you pay them, and they go home. And, hopefully you beat them by 4 or 5 touchdowns. And that's what happened. I mean, we were Virginia Tech. They were Wofford.
It was very nice, too, because in Hokie history, we have not really done this against teams like this. The Delawares of the world, the ECUs of the world, we know about the ODUs of the world. So I was happy to see this type of result. A couple of things real quick just on the game. I do want to give Kyron his props. Kyron played really, really well. He was almost perfect from a passing perspective, just in terms of this is stat line here. He was 27 of 32 for 307 passing. There were several drops. There were several illegal touching penalties. He accounted for 4 total touchdowns. I thought he played really, really well. And as you mentioned, I think the goal right now is just to get some confidence, get the guys rolling, make them feel better about it as an offense in general. We do need to stop fumbling the ball. I think that was his 3rd or 4th fumble this year. And it's very weird. It happens like in the same, like the same way this year. Like the next play is getting ready to start and they're like, wait, that's definitely a fumble. And then they review it and it's a fumble and, yada, yada, yada. So credit to him. Also credit to Kamari Copeland, big man interception. A statistic that you're all going to hate. Our defensive backs and defensive linemen are tied for interceptions. They both have 1 interception. So, the cheetah group has just been a little disappointing. John Love had a rare miss from 59. I was in my apartment at the time, beer in hand, screaming at the television, thinking that he nailed it. I was like, let him kick it. He was like 15 yards short. I don't know if he didn't get all of it or whatever, but it looked so good on TV. It looked so good on television.
The camera adds 15 yards sometimes.
Yeah. Game balls. I wasn't going to say this, but I'll say it. Dude, Pearson Prelude had such a good game. But the problem with Pearson Prelude is anytime I want to look at
PJ Prelude.
PJ Prelude has such a good game, but it makes me mad because then I try to look up the play on Twitter and I'm just like, dude, I have just no idea how to spell Prelude. Like I'm just like sitting there. I'm just like, I don't know how to spell this. So that's the toughest part. But Hawkins and Prelude both had awesome games. So shout out to both of them. I'm splitting my game ball into 3 parts. It's going to Kyron, it's going to the running back room, and that's how I would do it personally.
PJ, 7 catches, 65 yards. Was helping those chains move all day long. Shout out to our guy, Radford Bobcat, PJ Prelo.
Can we also
give too, right?
I do not know. That's a hard maybe. At the end of the game, I do believe so. I also want to shout out, we didn't mention this on our pod, big win for Sam Seifkes. We did not mention his background with Wofford, but obviously at Wofford, and got the win. Got the touchdown shutout. We can call that a thing. And this is what gets me excited, man. Like, I'm not trying to troll. Virginia Tech actually has everything right out in front of them. We got ACC play coming up. I'm just the fact is Virginia Tech is not eliminated from the college football playoff. I'm just sharing the news. We are undefeated in ACC play. September went about as awful as it possibly could have gone. Who knows? And the reason I set all this up is, Pat, I want to ask you, what is your barometer for success? We have obviously had to reset our expectations. Like, what would make you happy this year?
It's really hard to answer that question because, oh man, like one hand, I'm like, I want to win every single football game. The other hand, I'm like, wait, if we go ahead and win a ton of football games, like we might retain half of the guys on this staff. And like, do we want to do that or do we want to start fresh?
What if I just set you free from that? I was like, look, there's going to be a new coach. Like, this is almost like, I don't know what move, like the longest yard. Like, this is it. This is your shot, right? And then we're resetting the deck. So, like, how would you grade success?
I think it's like, all right, we're 1-3 right now. We got 8 left. I would say if you get to 5-7, like that's a pretty solid season based on where this team is right now. If you make a bowl game, if you get to 6, that would be something worth celebrating.
Oh yeah,
based on where this team was.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean that'll be a pretty sour thought on celebrating a bowl game, considering the preseason expectations. But would be proud of this team, would be proud of this staff, and I would be fired up. That means we won some ACC games, which would be nice going into whatever is next, that next iteration of this football program.
If you're watching this video, please like it and subscribe. It does help us. And then also put in the comments what amount of games Coach Montgomery would have to win for you even to consider him getting the job. I think it'd be remiss to say, like, there's no number. Like, we're obviously going to have a conversation about it if he goes 9-0 since taking over the role. Like, some people are like, there's no way. I mean, if he wins every game, obviously there's a chance. If I were putting a barometer on success, like, I feel like we've said this each of the last 3 years, this would by far be the most embarrassing UVA loss. I actually think UVA is pretty good. And I'm saying if UVA were to lose to us, if UVA lost to Virginia Tech for the second time with a different interim head coach at home this year, that is tremendously embarrassing. So as much as I push back for this on other years, if we can beat UVA this year, that would be a huge W. And if we could win, this is a low bar. If you win 1 game per month the rest of the season, I'd feel great. So that basically means beat one of NC State, Wake Forest, and Georgia Tech and Cal, beat one of Louisville, Florida State, Miami, and Virginia. That's going to be really hard to do. I guess it wouldn't be one per month. I would say one per every 3. Like if you could win, let's say 3 more games this year and you win 4. If you win 4 games this season, I feel pretty good about it. I think that's a realistic goal.
NC State, Cal, Virginia all have one loss. And then Georgia Tech, Florida State, Miami, Louisville.
Yeah.
No losses combined. So this is not going to be easy. This is very much the meat and potatoes that we probably thought we were going to be able to comb through. Not easily, but certainly October we thought was going to shape up to be a little bit easier than November. I still think it will be relative, considering Miami could be ranked number 1 when they come into Blacksburg in late November. Who knows? And then UVA, Florida State, like that is going to be an appointment television game on Friday night. I'm excited for that. This is not going to be an easy rest of our campaign, but I will say, like, even if Monty can beat UVA, like, dude, thumbs up. Like, thank you. Yeah, JC did it in 2021. Let's have Monty do it in 2025 and send him off a winner.
I got to tell you, I like Monty. His body language. I tell you what, it was great not seeing a pen and paper, doing the notepad stuff, talking to players. He has like this. Again, he just looks like an adult. He looks like a guy who's been a head coach before. And he has like this Andy Bitter. He said steady hand. He's got a steady hand. I like that. I like Monty, man. He was wearing the long sleeve, like this new like hip thing where it's like those light sweatshirt, t-shirt, long sleeve combos where it's like moisture wicking material with the hood and long sleeve. He had that on. No cartoonish Hokie bird logo. So I liked it. It was a good look. No Costas either. I think he had on actual like Nike glasses. So
what do you think outside of Kyron Drones hitting his receivers? What do you think was the biggest difference week over week that Phil Montgomery instituted into the offense?
I think just guys looking like they gave a damn, like for real. Like it was funny. I got a text message from somebody after you asked about offense, but I'm talking about the team in general. I got a text message from a buddy who was like, I can't believe like they're celebrating like this interception, like we just won the Super Bowl. And I wrote back, I was like, I'm just happy that they care. Like, because they genuinely did not look like they gave a flip last week, like at all. So if I had to say something that he did that made a huge difference, I would say he gave the team a pulse is what I would say. He also, Andy Bitter was talking about this too, or the Tech Sideline guys, that the way it used to be was we had like a very light, almost walk-through like practice on Thursday. And apparently they had like a actual sweating, like moving around practice on Thursday. I don't know why we ever thought this team was good enough not to practice hard on Thursday, but looks like we're practicing both hard and on time, which, I mean, if you go from not practicing hard all the time and not practicing on time to just doing those things right, it seems that makes a little bit of a difference. So that would be my answer.
And I would add to that, I think just getting the ball to PJ Prelo, like who had been a non-factor in weeks 1 through 3. He was the leading receiver.
Yep.
And I don't know if Kyron was hitting him a lot in practice this week, but I would say keep moving, keep it happening. Pilo had the guys moving. Let's see what else. Anything from the presser that you wanted to pull from Monty?
No, again, I'll tell you what, it was nice to hear something else. I'm really not trying to be mean. I'm really not. I just was so happy not to hear the fans look great, wide out. Like it was nice not to have to not hearing that. So I will just leave it at that. And honestly and genuinely, it was so great to see everybody show up to support this team, support this staff. Obviously, they've been through a lot in the last week. Obviously, people are disappointed. It was fun to see them go out and have fun. At the end of the day, I know they're getting paid. I know that it's a little bit different, but I want to see these guys have fun. Like, it sucks to suck. Like, sucking is awful. Like, I think we can all agree with that. So I was glad to see, these guys work hard. I was glad to see him get a win. This will be one of the goofier podcasts that we do. Neither of us were at the game. It was Wofford. So glad we won. With that said, let's talk about the other games. So really, I just have this called Games with Names from this weekend, like what games impacted you. I'll just go through a few here. I feel like this week, more than any other week, we learned so much about so many teams. And I just have this labeled as it's so over. I feel like a subject matter expert having, it's so over to us 2 weeks ago. And then again, it being so over. So I feel pretty good about speaking about it's so over. Number 1, Wisconsin. It is so over. Luke Fickell and Coach Loxley were in the who's getting fired first in the Big Ten Bowl. And Coach Loxley said, "This is my job." And he beat the hell out of Wisconsin at Camp Randall, man. That was unbelievable.
That was the one line I went into Saturday, and I was like, why is Maryland almost a double-digit dog at Wisconsin? That seems like too many points. Maryland has a quarterback that a lot of people are talking about named Malik Washington. What's going on there? Slow start out in the was it the noon kick or the 11 a.m. Central kick out in Camp Randall, and they just brought nothing.
Yeah,
again,
embarrassing.
Luke Fickell just has not been able to make things happen since he's
it's a little scary because, man, there are going to be a lot of jobs open. Like another one that was not shocking, but like Florida was in the game against Miami for most of the game. It was 13-7 for a while. They end up losing. It is so over for Billy Napier as well. Speaking of it's so over, some other it's so over situations. Sam Pittman, dude, at Arkansas. I love him. I think he's fun. There's a video floating around of stick your genitals into the coleslaw or the mashed potatoes. Like, dude, Arkansas has been struggling for a long time. They had the game won against Memphis, fumbled the ball on like Memphis's 10, down 1 with 90 seconds left, and then lost. So it is Sam Pittman. It is so over for Sam Pittman. It's actually never been more over than it is now.
Do you know who Florida has the next 2 weeks?
No, I bet it's awful. Who is it?
Florida has Texas at home, and then they have to go to A&M. They're going to be 1-5.
Dude, that is so tough. And I guess we could start this next segment can just be called "That is so tough." A couple things that are so tough. Michigan, dude. Nebraska, like this is a not very good Michigan team. It's very flawed. Like this was your chance to win like a big game at home, and you just didn't. You converted on a Hail Mary before halftime. Dylan Raiola threw for 300 yards. The first time somebody threw for 300 yards and had 3 touchdowns against Michigan, I think in like 3 or 4 years. And I think a lot of people are just going to tune Nebraska out. Another team that is just going to get tuned out. I hate to say this, Shane and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Like this was a tough loss, man. You lose to Vanderbilt, you get blown out. Sellers comes back. I believe he threw for 300 yards. But the rest of their schedule is they play Kentucky. So the Fighting Kenny Brooks next week. And then the rest of their schedule is at LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, at Ole Miss, at Texas A&M. So
the easiest game on their schedule besides Coastal Carolina is Clemson.
I know. So that's going to be really tough. And for all of you that said there's no way that he would take the Tech job, no way. It doesn't make a lot of sense. My new thing, dude, is when people tell me no way someone does something, I'm like, dude, when did he tell you that? Did he tell you that? That's cool. I didn't know he told you that because he didn't tell me.
That is a a paper thin offensive line that they have. I mean,
dude, what if theirs is paper
Lenora
thin? Then
Sellers.
ours is like neutron thin. What's thinner than paper? Tic Tac or Tic
I mean,
Tac?
Lenora Sellers got sacked 5 times yesterday and has been sacked 12 times already this season. The dude is a baller, and he goes out there and he makes it happen. He scores touchdowns, but there's 10 other guys out there.
I know. A couple other ones real quick that I want to highlight. Auburn lost to Oklahoma. Speaking of sacks, Oklahoma had 10 sacks. It's a program record. 10 sacks against Auburn. Ole Miss beat the hell out of Tulane. This game was probably the most stunning result to me because, Pat, sometimes when you like sometimes I'll say like a line that I'm calling the game, and I'll be like, dude, for Texas Tech versus Utah, I was like, dude, culture over cash, 100%. Like culture over cash. Give me Utah. Like, oh, Texas Tech, you went out and bought all these players. Congrats. Little did I know, Utah has not a single, to my eyes, not a single good athlete on their entire team, and Texas Tech just beat the hell out of Utah. Like they pulverized them into a pulp. So actually, it was cash over culture. So that was a stunning result that occurred on Saturday. Any other ones for you that stood out? I think that pretty much did it for me. It was a fun weekend of college football. We already talked about Indiana and Illinois, like actual assault. Actual assault.
I didn't get to watch any of those pressers going in, but I understand that Coach Sig was pissed on behalf of Indiana because Brett Bielema used to totally run it up on Indiana when Brett was at Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. Is that the background? That's the story.
Maybe.
Indiana has scored 219 points this season already. Indiana is averaging 60 points a game. They've broken 62 or 3 times. I mean, they scored 72 a few weeks ago. They are just scoring points at will. Mike Shanahan is their OC. He's he was brought over from JMU, from Coach Sig. So now is Mike Shanahan. Should we add him to the big board right now? Is it time? Everyone likes Banks at Tennessee. They put up a ton of points. Tennessee, broke 40 or 50 again. They ran it up on UAB. I mean, Tim Banks, Mike Shanahan, two of the dudes who just lead prolific aerial attacks. Do we want them in Blacksburg? You know who else I liked?
Who?
Billy came on Twitter a few days ago, and he didn't like what he had to hear or see from a Fran Brown interview. He's like, we came on this pod for the preview. I was like, dude, Fran Brown, like, he's a hard-nosed guy. He does what he wants. He says, listen, this is the way that we're going to do things around here. We're going to win some football games, okay? I might do some things that are a little off the wall, a little crazy, seemingly. And then he said something about what happens if coaches try to poach his players. And he says something about, well, people always look at my wife and, I'll come see them. And
yes, he would fight other coaches if they took his players. That's what he said. God forbid I say I'm good on that.
I mean, dude, if it's that or thanks to the fans for coming out, like, give me the guy who's willing to take some punches and throw some punches.
I agree.
We need a little bit of crazy. All right.
Yeah.
We need someone who's going to turn this thing around. And the Syracuse Orange went down and beat the heck out of Clemson in Death Valley and pretty much twisted the knife into Clemson. They're done.
Yep.
It is. Yeah. It might be so over down there. And a lot of people down there in Clemson, they might be ready to move on. I don't know how you move on from Dabo Swinney, especially a year removed from a playoff appearance. And I don't think that's a guy you want to. I don't think that's a guy you want to fire. I don't think that's a guy you want to buy out.
Especially after he goes on his presser and he's like, "You guys want to get rid of me? I'll just coach somewhere else." I gotta tell you, man, I love Dabo's. I really do. Like, I can't help myself. That whole presser, like, they're losing a bunch of games. Like, it'd be easy to make fun of him. And he gets up there. He's like, "Y'all tired of winning? We've been winning a lot. You don't want me to coach here? I'll coach somewhere else. I'm not gonna go to the lake." I'm like, dude, this guy is great. One more,
Dickory Dock.
dude. One more who it's so over for is Mike Gundy. Number one, with his perm, and number two, with his coaching at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has gone from being one of, I don't want to say they're one of the best programs, but they were really consistent. Like Oklahoma State, hold me accountable. This might be hyperbolic. I'm not saying that they had the same run that Virginia Tech had in the early 2010s, but in the early 2000s, but basically from 2007, 2008, like when Brandon Weeden was there, to 4 years ago, where they were a game away from making the college football playoff, they were one of the most consistently good teams, like very, very good, anywhere between like 9 and 11 wins every single year. And Mike Gundy gives up 70 points to Oregon last week and then loses to Tulsa at home this week. And it literally looks like a body double that's coaching for them. I mean, their fall from grace is really, really tough to look at. They were literally a play away from going to the college football playoff 4 years ago. And now they're ass. It's pretty unbelievable. It's so over for him too.
They are, I would say they're kind of similar if they're not in the Virginia Tech lookalike or comp camp.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like an NC State of the Big 12. Do you think that's
I would say better? Definitely better than NC State, dude. I mean, the only problem was they had if they were like any other state and not Oklahoma, just because of how storied Oklahoma is. Like, I mean, they've been really, really good for a long time. And to see this fall from grace is unparalleled. And this is coming from a fellow fall from gracer. It's a fellow fall from gracer.
Yeah. Unparalleled. We are actually very much paralleling it. All right. We didn't have to go play Oregon. I don't know how many points Oregon would have scored on us, but it would have been more than we scored on Oregon. ODU blew us out at home. Do you remember that?
True. I do remember that. That was tough.
We gave up like 65 points in a row at home. This is I would call it a slightly paralleled fall from grace. They were just at grace more recently than us.
Real quick before we move to coaching search and get the hell out of here, I do just want to talk about next week's slate. Like, I mean, are you kidding me? USC, Illinois at noon, Notre Dame at Arkansas at noon, Ohio State at Washington 3:30, LSU at Ole Miss 3:30, Auburn at A&M 3:30, Indiana at Iowa 3:30, Oregon at Penn State at 7:30, and Alabama, Georgia at 7:30.
Here's my qualm.
Dude, take it.
The Atlantic Coast Conference, not featured. Not featured.
Is there a game on here worth a flip? Like, let me pull up the ACC schedule. Here's what we have.
Yes, Virginia Tech is playing at NC State under the lights at Carter Finley Stadium. They just renovated their video board. It's going to be awesome. If you're a Hokies fan, I'm hoping you're going if you're in the Raleigh Triangle area.
This week objectively sucks. San Jose State's playing Stanford, Virginia Tech, NC State. Cal is going to Boston College. That's going to be a weird game. Louisville at Pittsburgh. Duke at Syracuse. That might be the most interesting game of that week. Georgia Tech at Wake. And yeah, Florida State at Virginia. I'm excited to watch that. I'll watch the hell out of that game. So that will be interesting.
It will be at a wedding.
That's tough. I'm sorry. That's tough.
Another fall wedding. And the one I was at a few weeks ago, people were watching on their phones. And some people were upset about it. You reap what you sow. I don't know. You reap what you sow, right? No fall weddings. We got to stop the fall weddings.
That's tough. That's of all the weekends. That's a tough one.
I'm not going to offend anyone listening to this podcast. They already know that. Where do we go from here? Let's talk about the Hokies right before we talk about the coaching. So I always look at teamrankings.com. I subscribe to them. They send me like a weekly notice on Virginia Tech and the rest of the season. After beating Wofford yesterday, Tech is projected to finish the regular season 3-9.
I'd take
that would be 2-6 in the ACC. We currently rank the Hokies as the number 14 team in the ACC and the number 75 team in the country. So we are cracking the top 100. Next game, Saturday, September 27th at number 64, NC State. Our power ratings give the Hokies a 29% chance to win at Carter Finley. So this gives us a 29% chance at NC State, 70% chance versus Wake, who is dog water, 12% at Georgia Tech, 55% versus Cal at home. And then we go into November, the final stretch, 22% Louisville, 3% Florida State, 7% Miami at home, and then at UVA's 20%. So in November, the game with the highest odds of us winning right now, according to this website, is the Louisville game. Throw out the records for UVA, though. That 20%, I presume, will be closer to 50% by the time that comes around.
I hope so. If there's a year to get us, man, I don't know who's going to be on the team. I don't. I mean, this for UVA. I'm just telling you, man. Tony Elliott, he's done a nice job over there, and they have a chance to win a lot of games. Like their next 2 weeks are tough. They got Florida State and then they got Louisville, but after that, Washington State, North Carolina, they're trash. Cal, better than expected. Wake Forest, trash. Duke, Manny Diaz might be eyeing a job by that time. He's also a name that we should add to the coaching list. Just saying. And then Virginia Tech. They have a chance to. They have 4 wins under their belt already. They're looking at bowl eligibility here pretty soon. So yeah, they got 3. I'm sorry, they got 3 wins under the belt. Sorry, 3-1.
Come on.
So, I mean, if I get like you said, dude, if nobody sees the wins, do they count? I don't know. Do you want to give just some updates on the coaches that we highlighted here?
So, if you haven't noticed already, Billy is doing some engagement farming on the TL.
Of course, dude.
Virginia Tech, hypothetical coaching searches. It's the new segment. Every day it's a new coach. He does a little twinkle sparkle emoji next to the word hypothetical. Mm-hmm. And it's Shane Beamer. It's John Gruden. It's Pat Fitzgerald. Another guy, Dan Mullen. The Fighting Runnin' Rebs. UNLV is now 4-0, led by head coach, head quarterback, Dan Mullen and Anthony Calandria. And Alex Orgy keeping the clipboard. They played Boise on October 18th. That's kind of one of their marquee games going down the stretch here. It should be interesting to see how many games the Runnin' Rebs end up on the winning side of this year. The more I think about Dan Mullen, the more I want him to be the head whistle in Blacksburg. I think if you asked me right now, Pat, what is your number 1 pick? Billy Ray, who is your number 1 pick right now on September? What is it today? The 21st of September?
Yeah, it's Pat Fitzgerald for me. If I could have anybody, that is realistic.
Why is it Pat Fitzgerald?
Because he absolutely maximized a program that has to win in a similar fashion that we do, except they have a lower ceiling than we have. I think that he brings a level of seriousness and grit. I've always liked him. 17 years of Power 4 coaching experience. He's only 50 years old. I think he's made of the right stuff. So if I could, and by the way, Pat, that can absolutely change tomorrow. He probably wasn't my answer yesterday. So just right now, I'm saying Pat Fitzgerald.
Is Pat Fitzgerald a guy who wants to leave the Big Ten? His son is coaching at Northwestern right now. He's a student coach. His middle child is currently a quarterback at Iowa. His youngest is a 2026. So still time for him to make his decision. And I don't know, like, is this a guy who wants to get back into being a head coach at a football program in general? I do like that opportunity for him at Virginia Tech. I think like he would fit the profile. I liked him 15 years ago at Northwestern. Being able to
15 years ago. I mean, I liked him 5 years ago in 2019.
I'm saying I've liked him for a long time.
Okay. I thought you meant like you didn't like. I thought you were hitting me with like the Jimbo Fisher line. Here's the thing, because the Jimbo stuff has to stop. Here's the thing with Pat Fitzgerald. I have no idea if he wants to coach. In general, I think he does, based upon him taking head on the allegations that were thrown at him. But I don't know if he wants to coach there. The thing is, I can think of 8 to 9 to 10 to 11 million reasons why he may want to, given our new financial situation that hopefully is approved here soon. And I think the fan base kind of lines up again. I don't want to redo what we did last week, but I think tech job is really enticing and intriguing. And I think he has a lot of good years left in him. So with everybody, you're going to find something that you like, that you don't like, that's, whatever. But if we could have Pat Fitzgerald, I'd love to have Pat Fitzgerald.
Did we talk about the Dan Mullen recruiting narrative? I think we talked about that.
We did. Yeah. It's a false narrative. What we didn't talk about is the fact that his wife kisses all the players when they come off the bus. That is a little weird for some people. But
if you win the football games, man, if you win the football games, I don't care if that's going on. I don't care if the head coach is fighting dudes because they're trying to tamper. Like, let them.
If you're carte blanche about whatever, then there's one last name for it. It's Hugh Freeze. Like, I mean, if the goal is to win football games, then Hugh Freeze, he's 3-1. He's got that loss to Oklahoma. He gave up 10 sacks last week, but there are a lot of people who hate Hugh Freeze because he coached at Liberty. Let's just be honest here. Like, a lot of people
I don't think that's why they hate him.
I think it's a large reason why a lot of people don't like them. I know I could think of several people who wouldn't hate him as much if he didn't coach at Liberty. I'm not saying that the cell phone stuff was a little bit disappointing. Actually, a lot of it disappointing.
I think that might be the reason, not the fact that he coached at People don't like Liberty coaches. Yes, that is true. But you don't hear it about Jamie Chadwell because Jamie Chadwell didn't have a long line of other issues off the field, okay? Like, no, this isn't just because he coached at Liberty. Get that out, okay? That is not the reason for that narrative.
Fair. Oh, man. That's fair. He does get me fired up, though, man. Hugh Freeze. He does fire me up. It's a big year for him. He could be fired or he could get an extension or I don't know what's going to happen there.
Jamie Chadwell, that's a name we haven't brought up.
I got to tell you, the Chadwells and the Sam and the Coach Huffs, like Charles Huff, like, would they do well here? Maybe. Would I like to see us aim a little higher? Yes. Like, we're almost like just recycling all of these names that we talked about like 4 years ago. And that doesn't have anything to do with their ability to be successful. It's just like, if the reasoning that if I have to talk myself into a coach by saying, hey, look, like it could work, that's not what I really want to do in this situation. I want to avoid those types of situations.
I know I mentioned Tim Banks earlier. He's the defensive coordinator, by the way, at Tennessee. I flip-flopped that. I said he was the offensive coordinator. He is a guy that people have been talking about. In addition to Mike Shanahan, again, I'm just throwing names on the board. Dan Safewright texted me this last week, and
Safewright? What a name!
You know him. You know Dan Safewright. Him and Center City Hokie. They rock the Bob Schick and the Parker Clements jerseys.
I know him as Dan. I don't know him as Dan Safewright. This guy should open like a storage facility company. Like, it would be unbelievable. But yes, as you were saying,
he texted me this week. He's like, dude, what about Holman Wiggins? And I'm like, you know what? Very similar to Billy's point about aiming a little higher.
Yeah.
I know Holman Wiggins has done his fair share of assistant head coach duties too. So it's, he's the second guy.
He's
He's
due.
been successful. He's been successful every single place he's gone. He's now helping Mike Elko, and they look awesome. So I'm not going to say no to Holman Wiggins. I do think
Head coaching searches are so funny. Like, sure, I won't say no to Holman Wiggins. I like Holman Wiggins a lot, but it's just like, oh, I know this guy. Where is he? Oh, dude, yeah, totally. Like, hire him. Like, that's you can throw out a whole bunch of names, but if you want to get me fired up for Holman Wiggins, if you get me a Holman Wiggins head coach with Justin Fuente offensive coordinator, I will knock on doors. I'll put on a t-shirt. I'll hand out flyers. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, saying Holman Wiggins coached up Jerry Jeudy is like saying Brent Pry coached up Micah Parsons. It doesn't mean that you want to give them the keys to your kingdom. But if we are going to get an opportunity to coach have anyone coach from the Nick Saban coaching tree, I think Holman Wiggins is probably the first guy on that list.
Well, Curt Cignetti would also be on that list.
You think Curt Cignetti would go to Virginia Tech?
I didn't say. Oh, you're saying realistic situation. Okay. I don't know what Curt Cignetti would do if he woke up one day and he was like, "Guys, I had a great time in Indiana. I'm going to the Citadel." I'd be like, "Okay." Like, guy seems #built different. So I never know what to expect from that guy.
You know who we haven't mentioned yet, and I'm curious to know your opinion on this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Matt Campbell.
I feel like Matt Campbell has hit his ceiling where he's at. He's in a very similar situation to me as Brian Kelly was at Notre Dame, where I feel like he has done everything he can do at Iowa State. And you basically need to make up your mind of, is this good enough? And is this like okay for me? And it's weird because Iowa State's a place where he could probably continue to do that. Whereas, like we talked about this on the last show, like Shane Beamer, I don't think South Carolina is the kind of job where you can just like pitter your way around and like just hang out and be like, this is where I coach. Iowa State's probably that way. I feel like Matt Campbell gets whatever he wants when he wants it at Iowa State. Like he's kind of like king of the castle, and not that much expectations. If you wanted to reset,
he's like a younger Bill Snyder at Kansas.
Yeah, like that's a really good comp. So I don't know. I kind of put him in he's maybe like a tier above like Charles Huff and Jamie Chadwell for me. I would say it would be like a B-, B-ish feeling about it higher. Is that fair?
I would put him in like a B+, A-. Okay. But I don't know who else is within the realistic ballpark of us who we could actually make contact on when we take some swings.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be unhappy with him. I think
I wouldn't either.
He'd be able to get us to 8-4 3 out of 4 years, I think.
I also just want to say this. A lot of people are saying like, oh, we can't hire this person because they're not from here or they won't be able to recruit. Newsflash. Recruiting is dollars, and does your coach have a good personality? I don't think a lot of players are saying, I'm not going to go to Virginia Tech because the head coach is from Seattle or the head coach is from like Illinois or Texas or Maine. I really don't think it matters. And we've gotten ourselves into quite some trouble caring about what accent somebody speaks in and where they're from. I actually think we need less gets it and more wins. So it's just my opinion.
The ACC standings right now. Florida State already has 3 conference wins. Oh, hang on. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Do we want to do this? There are some teams that haven't even played yet.
Yeah,
like, there's not really any reason to read this.
Clemson is the only school that has played 2 conference games, and they are defeated. Everyone's media darling, Clemson.
I mean, they were ours too. Fooled me. I thought they were. I thought they were going to be pretty damn good.
It is a battle between Miami, Florida State, and Georgia Tech at this point. I am very bummed about Syracuse quarterback Angeli tearing his Achilles.
Yeah, that sucks. He played his tail off. You know where he's from?
He is a Westfield, New Jersey guy.
Yeah, he went to Bergen Catholic, I think.
Yeah.
So
letters from the lunch pail. Virginia Tech is going to bring in a new staff.
Mm-hmm.
That new staff is going to need some real estate. They're going to need a place to call home. Besides Blacksburg, they're going to need an actual address, brick and mortar, a place where they can lay their head at night, hang out with their kids, their families, and enjoy a Blacksburg sunset and that Brush Mountain breeze. Wow. And if you are in the market for said breeze, whether it be getting a nice estate in the Ellet Valley or drumming on down to Draper or bussing through Blacksburg, you got to call our guy in the bottom right corner of this video. David Phillips, our guy, a friend of the show. We see him in Blacksburg. We see him all over the country if the Virginia Tech Hokies are playing. We love Dave Phillips, and we suggest giving him a call and giving him your business if you're looking to get a place you call home in Blacksburg. Check him out, and he will give you the keys. And speaking of the keys, we got the letters from the lunch pail locked away. Dave's going to give us the keys to unlock the lunch pail. What is the first letter, Billy Ray?
Wicked Afterlife. Is it possible that if Miami keeps playing the way they are, they could show up at Lane Stadium #1? Wouldn't it be great if VT ran the table up? Oh, my God. Wouldn't it be great if VT ran the table up to that point? Impossible, pretty much, but a nice thought. Yes. That would be nice.
Game day for Monty.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go buy
Monty Hokie and the Holy Grail. Let's go.
I think I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket, and it would be nice if we won. Yeah, I mean, yes, that would be nice. It is such a bummer, man, that we went from like, dude, Miami's coming here. Like, it's going to be cold. Like, that was what we were doing. We were like, it's going to be cold, man. It could win. I don't know. I think it's going to be an absolute slaughter fest. So, yes, it would be nice to answer your question.
Jason Blanchett says, I'd like to introduce you the newest staff members. These guys probably need some keys. AD, Desiree Reed-Francois. Head coach, Fran Brown. QB's coach, Mike Vick. Would you sign up for that?
Probably. Sure. I think Desiree Reed-Francois is probably... Here's the thing. My knowledge on like the AD market is zero. Like when they were like, who should we hire for AD? I'm like, I know one and she's pretty good. But you know, I will say on the head coach, Fran Brown, I think he's a really good coach. I don't think I want him as our coach. That's just my take. I think he's a little wild and crazy. He would be fun to cover though. Quarterback coach Mike Vick. I'd love to have Mike Vick involved in some capacity. I think that one I don't specifically have a problem with, but we're doing that thing again where like we start throwing around like every Virginia Tech player who played a position are like, dude, he should coach this unit. It's like, dude, Joey Sly, kicking coach. Let's get Todd Washington on the defensive coordinator. Let's get, I don't know, D'Angelo Hall should be the defensive backs coach. Like we're starting to do that again. And it's very funny to watch it happen, but it is happening. So
I would love Mike involved. I really want to know where would Mike be the best fit? Because I just have a hard time. I'm not in those walls of the Norfolk State locker room. I just have a really hard time having the most athletically gifted college quarterback of all time trying to coach other quarterbacks when like just having a guy who is not going to have as much talent in their whole body as Mike had in his left hand.
It's also going to depend on what kind of offense you run. Like if you bring in Pat Fitzgerald, we're probably not going to be running an offense that Mike Vick is not comfortable teaching, but like not an offense that he ran, right?
I want Mike involved. I want Mike involved in some capacity.
Sure,
I don't know when the right time is. I definitely want to see some proof in the pudding and see him win some games first and have more experience in 4 games. But every Hokie fan would love to see Mike in Blacksburg in some capacity at some point. But I think it needs to be the right fit before we just say, hey, let's make him this position because he was the best quarterback to ever come from the state of Virginia.
Wrapping this up, Sharky shout-outs. I got a couple. First of all, this is not official news yet. All signs are pointing it to being official. Our guy, Sunshine, Kevin Giltner, just an absolute legend, man. Bummed that it appears we won't be seeing him in Blacksburg anymore. Really excited for the opportunity for him and his family to go back home and be the head coach at Wofford. I will say this is not a threat. Wofford athletic director, you guys better figure it out. Because if you guys bring my guy over there and there's some bad situations, I don't know what their streets are. I always say march on Washington Street. I might march on Terriers Terrace or whatever you guys have it called down there. So y'all take care of my boy if that's the direction that he's going. I want to shout out to all the kids that played with effort and excitement this past weekend. It was fun to get in the win column, all the fans that showed up. And then also Jalen Lane, he had a punt return touchdown. Bashal Tootin, he had a touchdown. And Jason Blanchett for holding it down with the Section 5 win pick. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys, if you've made it this far in the podcast.
Oh, what do we got? What are we going to do?
Comment below the scooter emoji.
Oh, why did you choose the scooter? Scooter
Waller usually takes great Section 5 win pick.
Well done. Guys, let us know what you want to talk about on the NC State preview. We will actually preview NC State because they are an ACC opponent. Pack down, dude. Pack down. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Pat, enjoy dinner. I need to figure out my dinner. And keep pounding. Go theirs, dude. All in.
You can't keep if you never started, and I'm glad you started today.
Have a great week, Hokes.